immense amount of cinematic storytelling. How many people do you know that sold a business for 180 million? They're going, we've made it, let's try again. It's a unique angle. This is the moment of realization, and that's not a color profile, a choice of style. I'm rooting for the character at this point. I'm emotionally invested. That right there, along with the music choice, really just shows you what they're up against. If you want to create something similar, you've got to look at this and kind of ask yourself. So a client of mine recently sent me a video that they liked. I want to break this video down step by step to see why it worked and possibly provide some guidance for anyone else that might want to achieve the same effect. So the video that we are looking at is from a YouTube channel called Founders Table. They make really great content. So from an overview perspective, this video just really does a great job of telling a relatively basic story that a lot of people are trying to tell these days. Founders, how to make money, how to do this. While we do get brought on the journey with a lot of these creators, I do think that this style of storytelling just really does such an effective job to bring us along. And I think there's a lot that we can learn from this video that other creators can take into their videos. Let's jump in.
We're building an AI assistant that manages your messages, calendar, and tasks.
Right off the bat, the cold open, getting straight into it. As the viewer, I know exactly what the intention is and what I'm going to find out in this video.
Is this app going to sit on the home screen?
And we're thinking it's time for us to capital raise.
That's as big a check as we would ever.
These guys are successful. They're showing they're successful. Within the first couple of minutes, you're seeing a couple of different scenes, jumping into a Lambo, talking to investors. These are all like high ticket item things, right? That not everyone is able to achieve. So they're already establishing some form of authority in this space.
In this situation, significant for us.
In this video, we've literally put a camera in the room while we pitch to investors.
Fuck.
You're going to watch the
Love that. Okay, that's a little candid moment right there that just shows a little bit of emotion, and it just shows that these guys, even though, you know, they're rocking up in Lambos and obviously they know what they're doing, there's a bit of nerves and there's a bit of realness in that. So within the first, 20 seconds, we've literally been shown an emotional arc already where you see them, this is what we're doing, and them stressing at the meeting, right?
investors challenge us and how we take that feedback and sharpen our pitch. Roast our pitch.
Definitely got a bit of fuck you energy.
Now everyone keeps asking, why the hell would you capital raise when you just sold a business for 180 mil? We've got...
Oh, okay. That's a very important thing to mention. How many people do you know that sold a business for 180 million, right? That is very much a state of authority that they've got. Within the first 30 seconds, they've casually mentioned that, right? So they've sold a business for 180 million. They're pitching to investors. They're arriving in Lamborghinis. These guys are serious. They know what they're doing. That tone and that sense, it's not an edit. It's not a LUT. It's not the music you're using. There's a real sense of authority there that can't be faked, right? And what they're doing is they're putting that forward in the best light. If you want to create something similar, you've got to look at this and kind of ask yourself, where do I get my authority from? Where can I be a thought leader in the space? Because these guys are owning this. We're not even a minute in and you're seeing a lot of money and a lot of real high level business acumen going on. That's not something that is done in the edit or is put forward by music or anything like that. That's real results and real people achieving those results.
the money to fund this ourselves.
We've got the money to fund this ourselves. Why would they try and fund? Why would they try and get other investors in? That is a question. There's something that's leading me on there. If you've got the money, why would you want to go through the effort of trying to find other people to fund it? Leads me in to want to watch the rest of the video.
Let's find out. I need it. I need this. I'm like spike-fueled rage.
Oh,
I think the only version of this where we regret raising capital is we partner with someone that's not.
so what we've got here is a beautiful lead in to everyday content. The retention edit right at the beginning where we set the tone, we set the stakes really high, and then we go straight into a shot of a shower, which doesn't really make sense for a founder trying to fund an app, right? You wouldn't put a shot of a shower in. But what does that do? It brings us right back down to baseline. Everybody gets ready for work. It sets you right back to the beginning. And it goes, right, Now that we know what's going on, let's start the day.
Right for us.
Oh,
It's funny, everyone always asks us, why don't we just fund this ourselves? And we can if we want to. But really,
even this shot here, right? That's not two people walking down the stairs. Basically, they've masked out the one side. So this is a case where editing is really being pushed into the background. There's a high level of production quality here, but it's not being thrown in your face. All of these shots that you've been seeing now have been very beautifully crafted, right? If I go back to here, look at that. Like, that is amazing. From a cinematic perspective, that's great.
really what we want to do is bring in the right strategic investors to help us unlock things that we couldn't unlock on our own.
There we go. There's the answer, but it doesn't provide the solution. It begs the question, who and how, you know? So it leads us in further.
One of them obviously being going international.
Going international.
So there is a world where making this decision to raise capital, we're trading off things like autonomy and our ability to do whatever we want as founders. And that ultimately means
that shot is great. You know, that would take a lot in the cinematic world, right? That requires a whole harness, and they're just throwing this shot in so casually, but you'd be surprised at what it takes to achieve a shot like that, right? He could just be holding a tripod. I'm not sure how they actually made this, but it gives you this real sense of bringing you into his world. That shot is very, very specific, and I want you to notice how casually they're throwing it in there. It leads to a very specific type of emotion. We're 1 minute, 20 seconds in, and you've got this immense amount of cinematic storytelling and structure and leading in and questions and answers, both from the dialogue and from the visual. So not all of us are gonna even want to shoot something like this. But I think it's important to question, what shot am I using in order to invoke a specific type of emotion? And how can I maybe use something different to tell a different kind of story? So this is called a storycam. It invokes a very specific kind of emotion, right? And that's a pretty advanced level of cinematic storytelling here from the visual perspective.
a world where we could regret this decision.
This though?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Kind of like you're
Yeah,
super casual.
Okay, so this is really great, right? This is the first time you actually hear their cinematographer in the background. And it's a little bit of a real world kind of BTS, very casual, you know, casual insert. I really like when people kind of show a bit of the behind the scenes. What do you want me to say? How should I do this? You know,
Here's a real behind the scenes. I'm busy moving at the moment, so my studio is changing. I just wanted to interrupt the video to just urge you guys to go and watch the full film properly. I know how frustrating it can be to pause, play, be watching something, and just as you get into it, someone interrupts. I hope you're enjoying so far.
we're not all machines, right? We don't all know how to just straight up deliver content that way.
It's really about focus. Every time you go through this journey, like we're definitely experiencing, it takes time and energy away from doing the actual thing.
So cap raising for us is less about the money and more about getting an investor
Back into
on
the
our
other
side
talking
that
head.
will help us with a couple of things. One is finding and attracting really great talent. The second one is
The strategic nature. Who you choose to raise your capital from can often determine where you as a business can go.
so if we can get an investor in here that can help us expand internationally,
And we want to play on a global scale. So that would look like the next capital raise would be in America. Let's go back to when Jacques and I were having lunch.
Another Jacques.
We first started talking about the capital raise.
Right, so this is very important. This is very, very important. 4 weeks until first pitch. This is the first time we get a sense of the passing of time. Most YouTubers and most content is created in possibly one seating. 4 weeks until first pitch takes us back, and it allows us to say, oh, where did this all begin? Beautiful time lapse.
We've talked about raising capital a number of times.
There we go. We've talked about raising capital a number of times. This conversation happened 4 weeks ago, knowing that we started somewhat present day. By going back in time and then showing kind of leading up till that moment, it allows us to, as the viewer, just be drawn further into the story and see more context around what it is we're about to see.
But like, what do you think about if we go and raise from like the big boys?
The big boys.
We don't need money.
In the end of
We
the day,
don't.
like,
We don't need money. We don't need money. Very, very important. These are not guys trying to make it. They've made it. Just re-emphasizing the fact that, you know, they're doing this as a challenge, which is not the same as most other people on the platform. They're all trying to make it or positioning themselves as, here's how to make it. They're going, we've made it. Let's try again. You know, and that's really interesting. It's a unique angle.
we're competing here in going to be like a fierce space. And so we have to ask ourselves a question, can we do that with or without?
Yeah.
The money is one aspect, but like what happens above and beyond it? But I think even just the process of trying to do it.
The process of trying to do it, that's what they're here for, right? It's showcasing that it's possible and they have money. They could choose the easy way out, but they're not going to.
We can learn a lot through that.
Yeah. Okay. What does that look like then?
We're thinking about like AI engineers. Like you're competing with the Canvas of the world.
Yeah.
Like how do you make sure that we can attract that level of talent? Like I don't know the answer is that we have to, but it's like why do other people do it?
What we know so far is that SpaceX is currently raising $750 million at a valuation around 130.
All of these big companies, big numbers, big valuation. So they're setting themselves right at the same standard as all of these. They're associating themselves with these names that we already know. Another movement forward in time.
So I've just been sitting here working on the pitch deck for Kinso for the capital raise. It's really interesting because the last time we bootstrapped, kind of skipped this part of the learnings. And I know how important it is because we're going in here blank. Like, yeah, we have some credibility from the last business, but people want to see the product and the conviction we have. For more.
So that's another great example of a beautiful shot. That could have been done in a room with lights on. It could have been set up really nicely, but chose specifically to light him in that scene only with the laptop light. And that's a very specific choice. That's not something that happens by accident. And it's another example of how they are using very specific cinematography to invoke a certain feeling. The only light that's on is their laptop light. And it just gives that sense of a little bit of loneliness, a little bit of the process. They're locked in, they're busy doing what it is they need to do, late at night while everyone else is sleeping.
What I'm seeing, the importance of the pitch is really like refining and getting better at the communication. Is we can't just think because we've done it once before, we know everything. So we have to look and get inspiration from other sources, people who've done it before. And so we've looked at Sequoia Capital, what they believe the best framework is for a pitch, and just applied that directly to what we're doing.
What can we learn to allow us to do things better? And in the story arc of things, it's them admitting that they might not know everything. What else can we learn in order to drive things forward? That's not something that's visual. That's an admission from the founder himself going, let's go back into the woodwork. Let's go back and figure out what we can do better this time and how we can approach things that allow us to move this project forward. That's something that was a real emotion that just came out, so beautifully in that moment at night, working late, trying to complete the pitch. So that's just a really great little piece of storytelling right there that works really, really well. Instant change of music automatically sets the tone for a little bit of tension, a little bit of drama. You don't know what's going to happen. Something's changed.
Okay. Cool, guys. All right, what's happening?
Did you get an opportunity to see that YouTube video?
No.
Did you get an opportunity to see that YouTube video that I sent you? No, without hesitation. That right there, along with the music choice, really just shows you what they're up against. Did you see something that I sent you? No. I don't have time. Tell me. I'm not going to watch your video. I'm not going to, dude, I'm here. You got a meeting with me. I'm not going to do homework, So by including that in this film, it just sets the tone and it builds that tension and it really shows what these guys are up against, right? Without even looking, that dude didn't even flinch and he said no, straight up.
So, okay, so I touched on the little concept to you. What we're creating is this like voice first AI assistant. You would know this more than anybody. It's like, oh, do you know anybody in tech and blah? And you're like, right?
I have literally never had an answer to that question because every time somebody asks you, like, no, can't, nothing's coming.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
So in the
Very cool thing that they did here, right? That music that they had playing in the background slowly dies out while they're explaining this idea to this potential investor. The moment where the investor starts to kind of get it and say, I've literally never had an answer to that question. There's no music. We've maybe reached a plateau point. This tension that was being held in this shot, in this frame, is now slowly starting to subside. There's just silence. It's maybe there's a chance here that we've got this investor. Maybe he's on board. Maybe we can push and keep explaining and we can get him on, right? And the music really drives that, and the shot really drives that.
you'll just type in tech and blah. Because we've got all the public information, here are the people, and you just go click, click, share.
Where's the fucking pain point that I go, hey, if you solve that for me, I would be willing to pay for that immediately.
It's the magic moments of, I'm in San Fran.
He's in?
Type in San Fran.
Stop for a
What
second.
problem are you
right?
going to solve
Being
for
in
me?
San Fran, don't know about
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
Happens to me
yeah.
once a year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm not investing in the idea. Like, like loosely, conceptually, I'm betting on YouTube.
But one of the things I can't shake is, like, as I get questioned and as I have these challenging questions, is I'm like, when people ask, what is the moat? And it's not an arrogant or cocky thing, but I'm just like, the moat is my willingness and Jacques' willingness to will our way through.
We're betting on ourselves, and it's our willingness to work our way through this project that is going to get investors on board. It's this realization of self almost going, you know what? People aren't necessarily going to be invested in this idea right from the get-go, but we believe in ourselves and we want you to believe in us as well. The investor that they were just talking to said, I'm not investing in this idea. I'm investing in you. And that sparks a moment of realization where it's like, you know what? It's us and it's our work ethic that's going to push this through. And that's a very, very important part of the film. Right? And it's another arc. It's an emotional achievement that happens right in the middle. And it gives us a reason and a refreshment to kind of carry on watching this film. We believe in these guys now. We want to see where it's going.
Business is inevitably filled with risk, but we're prepared to do what is unreasonable for the longest period of time to win. And we know through brute force, we will get an outcome. Like, we will not allow this to fail. And yeah, it's going to be fun. 3:30 in the morning. It's Wednesday.
3:30 in the morning.
Today we have a meeting with the investor. And for today's meeting, we needed to get clear on what are the key items that when people see about our business, they're going to get the most excited for. It's been a big week. I haven't really had the opportunity to cut.
Notice how many times you're seeing them behind their laptops, working late at night. This creates a sense of we're not above everyone else. We're not just trying to hire a team and, delegate. We're ready to do what it takes, and the visuals and the change in tone of music and even the way they're addressing the camera really reflects that. And it allows the viewer to kind of be drawn in for a sense of like, you know what? I actually believe in these guys. I see them putting in the work. I see them going to these meetings. Let's see what happens.
Kind of get these things down, so I had to wake up early this morning to kind of get stuck in that final sprint before I leave on Friday. I don't usually condone waking up this early. This is one of those seasons that you've kind of got no choice.
All of these little clips and little check-ins with the camera late at night and stuff like that, it really drives that message. This whole video could have been one talking head, breaking it down step by step, how we did it. And I think they do have other videos that do that kind of thing. But this sort of documentary style thing just brings the viewer in on this whole journey that they're on. And it really shows, this is how far we're willing to go. And that's not a color profile, a choice of style and, that sort of thing. It's really what they are willing to do, what the characters themselves are willing to do and willing to go through. And something like that is just not achievable when you've just got a really well lit talking head in a studio environment with great audio, just someone talking directly to a camera. It just doesn't invoke that same emotion. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. We really are with these guys at the moment. This is great quality video, but I'm rooting for the character at this point. I'm emotionally invested.
Let's get stuck in.
I don't know about you, but I have never been this motivated in my life.
Instant music die, right? Something's about to happen.
This is the problem set we have right now. It's like these two worlds.
You might be like a one-of-one person.
They're actually mentioning that they're going to build a documentary around this.
You're not on any apps. And so I want to bring you to understand the power and the reason we're making the bet.
Am I allowed to reply?
Of course you can.
Absolutely. This is marketing genius.
Straight into tension music.
This is your Excalibur in a sense. This is really one of your absolute strong points. What I'm kind of saying to you is, hey, think about the scope of what this business is. Yep. It's not just the marketing. You guys are currently spending 95% of your thinking in the marketing, and I'm highlighting to you that as this company evolves, you are going to need to be able to credibly argue that marketing is not everything that you think about.
Totally.
If you guys could produce a V1 that is an assistant for me, I would be walking all around town being like, yeah, you fucking suckers, you should see this fucking app I'm using.
Yeah.
The race is
proof of concept.
You will lose in this business ultimately. You have to prioritize context as like key to everything that you do.
Binary, yes or no, we've got it or we don't have it. What is it?
Binary, I'm going to say yes.
Ooh, very confident. Yes.
We've got it.
Let's cut back to us.
Reading out the rejection letter.
We'd like to get a better sense of the technical talent you hire and the way you build product. I'm really bummed we're not investing in this round, but I hope we can make it work.
Rejection. Rejection. Clearly you can see it on his face.
Are we raising at a point that doesn't make sense because we need to show you what we're building? Why did we set out to do this? The question was, we don't want money.
How are you feeling? You seem a bit bummed.
No, I'm just trying to think about it like properly, like what's best for us. Like, are you concerned at all by these people flagging things around the product?
I'm always concerned about that, like obviously. But
I don't know how founders can go through a process of raising capital and get a bunch of no's and still want to do it. It is actually the most amazing thing.
I hope to be proved wrong, but I don't believe it.
I mean, that face says it all, right? That face just says it all. This is the moment of realization that, like, this is going to be much harder than we thought it was going to be.
Isn't it? Where this one's very much like really trying their absolute best to stay in.
Right now, this guy's not thinking, I want to make content. I want to tell the camera what I'm thinking. I want to make my YouTube video great. This is a real sense of, where do we go from here? This is a real emotion right here. You can really see the look on his face right there. That is not something that is scripted.
What else do you fucking want?
I don't know.
I need it. I need this. I'm like spite-fueled rage.
Spite-fueled rage. What do you need from me? I want this. I take your rejection and I multiply what I'm willing to do. You saying no fuels my fire, and you can hear it in the music.
Give me that. Give me as much of this as we can. I'm screenshotting that. I'm printing it out. I'm putting it on my wall.
I was just gonna say, to be honest with you, we got a bit of fuck you energy. Like we got a bit of fuel in the tank. I've never felt more energized.
It's actually also my responsibility to say to you that you've got to be a cool, calm cucumber in this and be hard-nosed. It's annoying to be told no, and it's good that it fuels your fire, but you just need to bury it.
Just need to bury it.
So we're 3 rejections down.
3 rejections.
It's gotten to that point where I think if I told you I was fully confident that we're going to get this investment, I'd be lying. Yeah, we're expecting our final answer hopefully later today.
Also, that's a super important moment right there. It's just a little reflection before their final moment later today. They've gone from being super inspired to really low rejection to, yes, we're going to make it, to, oh no, I don't know if this is going to happen, to, you know what, despite everything, we're still going to go at it. And there's a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of candor in his voice there going, let's see.
So I assume now is indeed a very good time. What we want to do is give you $1 million. Cool. Okay.
Right then and there, right? We're expecting our answer later today. Cut to, we want to give you $1 million. They're fumbling to get the shot. They prioritize the realness of the phone call over delivering this news in a way that cinematically looks great. The shot's all over the place. At this point in time, you're so far in this journey with them that really you don't care how the shot looks. It actually adds to the sense of realness. It adds to the sense of this in the moment type thing. They were obviously driving somewhere when the investor said, hey, we want to give you $1 million. That's huge. The fact that they chose to leave this footage in and use it as the announcement of basically this entire video, right? You don't know what's going to happen this whole video. There's no mention in the thumbnail. There's no mention in the beginning of the video that it's actually going to happen. And the payoff, which is we're giving you $1 million, happens with a shaky shot, them being in the car, and you can barely hear them on the phone call with this investor. And that just adds to the drama, adds to the sense of, wow, this is really happening and unfolding real time. You're taken on this journey with them. Such beautiful storytelling. Is it great cinematically? No, I just think it's another way of showing, you know, a real life version of what they're going through as opposed to this curated kind of approach.
Hey, really just to put in context, that's as big a check as we would ever do in this situation. The investors that you get now are people that you need to have, who you need to like and want to talk to and have a relationship with over many years.
Yes.
Who's going to be your counterpart?
Cut music.
That was intense.
That was intense. Moment of realization. It actually happened.
You're probably wondering, did they even raise capital? We did. The problem with making this not scripted is you don't have any of the context. Jack just whipped out his phone, you heard a few words, but to answer your question, we raised capital.
We raised capital.
Now, before I leave you today, I want to read you a little comment from the last YouTube video. Not a bad idea, guys, but this app will need lots of marketing and events to get people on board, preferably high net worth individuals. It's a good point.
I love how that ends. That's such a great way to say, stay tuned to see what's happening. It's such great delivery. And that last shot, fine, they might have shot that a couple of times and you can see that there's kind of a little bit of scripting going on in that last little section. It just brings me as the viewer in even more, and it says stay tuned for next time, you know, without having to actually say that, right? We're so used to saying, hey guys, please subscribe to my channel, please do this, please do that, you know, asking the viewer something. This poses a question. It goes, you guys said this, and you know what? That's interesting. What now? What now? What are you gonna do? What's next? You just got what? Are you just gonna leave me there? What's going on? You know, no credits, no nothing, cut to black, music done. And I think that's just such a great way of like leading the viewer off, right? And leaving them at a point where they're going, wow, that was really cool. I wonder what they're gonna do next. And while we all don't drive Lamborghinis and having sold software products for $180 million and knowing all these high net worth individuals and stuff like that, we can use these little storytelling techniques in order to push our own content a little bit further. And I really urge you to take something from this video and implement it in your next piece of content. Shout out to my client who inspired me to just deep dive this video. I'm definitely taking something, and I encourage you guys to do the same. I appreciate you guys watching the video right till the end, and if you like this type of content, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to make more of it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.